Hey YouTube, today we're going to be going through this. This is a bucket. It's probably one of the more important things that you could actually keep in your car. I'll go over a couple things. This bucket is actually from Walmart's bakery department. They keep frosting in them. It's a 5-gallon bucket, but as you can see, it's kind of rectangular shaped. Generally, you can go to their bakery department and find out if they've got any of these frosting buckets for sale. It seemed like they used to give them away at one point because they just didn't. It's better than throwing them away, but I think they want $1 or $2 for them. Anyway, really good buckets. They got a handle and everything on them. It's just really good size. Anyway, one of the nice things about this bucket is if it's in your car, say you go to a football game, you know, your grandson's playing baseball or something, you can sit on it. Okay, so it makes a chair. It also makes a nice storage for your car. It keeps everything kind of in there, right? I mean, most people have a backpack or something they can put in their car. This is a little bit different. There's a couple things in here I think everybody should carry in their car, and granted, it's going to be seasonal. Like, you know, some water. Probably won't be easy to drink if it's in the middle of winter and you live in Idaho, Utah, you know, Canada. It's probably going to be hard water. But you can thaw it out and you have some. Anyway, there's a couple of reasons why I think this is a great idea. One, like I said, holds, you know, a lot of stuff. You can use the bucket for other purposes. If it's, you know, I've been fishing before. We're catching fish, no way to haul them. You got a bucket in the car. You just take the contents out, set them to the side, you got a bucket. This is actually a tablecloth. It's from Walmart again. It's the big one. It's a rectangular shape, but it's 60 by 102. So it's the biggest rectangular one you can get. This also has like a material on the inside, so it doesn't like scratch up your table. It's like a little cotton backing. Anyway, what I use these things for is, you know, of course they're vinyl, but they're also waterproof. It's like a giant waterproof blanket. So it's windproof, waterproof. It'll keep you warm. It's big enough that you can pull it on over your head and wrap it around you. And the inside is soft because it's like a material on the inside of this. Now the best part about this is if you go to Walmart after the holiday, I mean, you're going to find like this one here's got, you know, pumpkins and stuff on it. It was around Thanksgiving time. After Thanksgiving, you can pick these things up for a couple of dollars. Okay, so they're relatively cheap. They're already packed into a nice little thing. They fit right down in the bucket for storage. And you've got a waterproof blanket. If you're in the rain and it's an emergency and you're getting wet or cold, or the kids are, this works really good. Me and my kids used to wrap up in them just for fun and get, you know, out in the rain and stuff like that. And they actually are warmer than you would think. Anyway, this, I just had this, you know, folded up in the bucket too. Lightweight. It's called like Reflectix. I think is the word for it, and it's like bubble wrap. It's pretty thin, super light. You can buy this stuff by the roll, and this is a 2-foot wide roll. And I cut this off, and it's about 13 inches. You could go a little bit bigger, a little less. But the other nice thing about this is it reflects back like 90% of your body heat. Okay, so if you need this thing, like inside your shirt, to kind of keep your core warm, that works pretty good. It also works really good for this. If you're sitting on that bucket and you're an older fellow like me, it's just nice to put something on top of that bucket and sit on it. Gives you some cushion. Also works for like a bleacher or a stadium seat. You just sit down on it. Man, it makes a huge difference if you fold it in half like that. Or if you need to, you can do it one more time, and it's super cushy. Okay, so you have that and this, some water in the bucket. I always carry, you know, a tablet of paper and a pen in the bottom of it. It lays flat, doesn't take up any room at all. And you've got a way to make a note. If your car broke down, if you got stuck or something, you had to leave a note for somebody saying, hey, I went here, or, you know, don't call for help, or do call for help, whatever the situation could be. You have that ability to do that. There's probably a million things that you could put in the bucket. You're going to have to do it whatever is right for you. But I'm going to go over a couple of things, and I'm going to tell you why I'm picking them. Okay, so, I mean, this has got some banana chips in it. It's got some kind of a tropical trail mix in there. Not advocating either one of those, other than it's just a product that probably would be palatable if it was frozen or if it was hot. It's not going to go weird in the car. This is just from the dollar store, but it's pretty much ibuprofen. Let's see, there's 15 tablets in here. It was $1. I put that in there. This one I think is a biggie. This is just baby wipes. This is the Natural Care from Huggies. I like these because there's really no scent or anything to it. It's not like some of the other ones, like Pampers that I've used before. They got a greasy feel, like a lotion to them or something. I didn't like that. If you're trying to clean your face or your hands or something, sometimes that's all you need is one of these in there. And again, in the middle of winter, this is going to be like a brick. It's going to be frozen solid. So just take that into consideration. But when it thaws out, they work fine. You know, they get the fluid running back through them. This is something that I picked up at the dollar store, $1. And all it is a beanie. But, you know, probably 50% of your body heat leaves through your head, especially if you got, you know, a ton of hair like me. New pair of socks. Okay, I just put them inside the beanie, right? Just good to have in case your feet got wet and you're cold. Here's some more food product. This thing here is just those toasted cheese crackers. And there's a bunch of those in there, and that's like $1 too. Doesn't matter if it freezes, doesn't matter if it gets hot. Seems like it's been good for me year round, but in a pinch, right? It's not going to be something you'd crave probably all the time. This is just a little Ziploc bag, and it's got some paper towels in it. It's got a spoon in there, a little plastic spoon. So I put one of those in there. Put a couple of Band-Aids in there, just in case you need them. Even if you had to use it, tape your note up on the inside of your window of your car, because if you hang a paper note on the outside of your car and it's raining or snow, it's going to get wet. You could use, you know, the tape off the Band-Aid to hold that up. My wife always puts these, she thinks this is the best idea, and I do too. These are just granola bars. Another thing that won't freeze. Doesn't matter if it got hot in the back of your car, in your bucket, or whatever. So load up on them things. They're always good to have. This is just a 13-gallon garbage bag. Now, you know, I've got it all folded up, whatever. But this fits in here. I mean, you could just use that as a garbage can, right? You had to throw something in there that was nasty, or say you had to go to the bathroom and there was nowhere else to go. Put the bag in the bucket, right? You got some paper towels and or these little Kleenexes, little packs of Kleenexes. You can get these at the dollar store. You can get 6 of those for $1. Super cheap. I put toe warmers in here. Now, the hand warmers are great too. I've used a ton of these. They're a little bit smaller, and I don't know why, but they seem like they're hotter. And they seem to last longer. When it says, oh yeah, you'll get, you know, 8 hours of heat out of these, you really do. And you can put them on your socks. Don't put them up directly against your skin or anything like that, or you can just put them in your pockets. I've wore these things for like 8 hours in my boots. I've pulled them off my socks and shoved them in my hoodie pockets or my pants pockets, and these things get so hot you can hardly stand yourself. So anyway, you can get a whole package of these for like $5, and it may have, I don't know, 12, 16 of these packs in there, so break that down. It doesn't cost a whole lot to chuck one of these in there, and I'm sure they have a expiration date. This is another thing I put in here. This is just a little dollar store toothbrush and toothpaste. It even has the little piece that you can put, the little cover that goes over your toothbrush when you're done. So yeah, you got a toothbrush in your car and some toothpaste in case you needed to freshen up. Everybody forgets, and they go to lunch and I got to go to the dentist, and that's embarrassing, so you got a toothbrush in there. This is just a little Ziploc bag. I put Q-tips in this, okay? If I had to spend the night out of town and I rolled up at a motel, and, I'd have some stuff with me at all times to brush my teeth, or do whatever I need to do. A little bit of a snack if you were in a situation or stuck someplace and you were stuck in your car. You do have some food, you do have some water, even if you had to warm that up. This is like a toenail clipper. Okay, it works for fingernails or toenails. I just threw one of them in there. It's $1 at the dollar store. This is just a comb. I don't have any hair, but you gotta make it look good sometimes. There's a bag of combs at the dollar store for $1, and there's 12 of them. They're different sizes and colors and whatever. Anyway, I just took one of these plastic combs and chucked in there. And this is something else that I thought was a pretty good idea. Just to, make a kid happy or whatever. These are just little, like, candy cane mints, peppermints that you get in them big bags at the dollar store again. You can get a whole bag of these things for $1. And if you're smart, right after Christmas, nobody wants them. And they've got them marked down. Hang on, let me grab this bag. So they always have a ton of these things left over after Christmas because, they're not Reese's peanut butter cups and stuff. These are just peppermints, right? Hard candy. You can get that whole bag. I mean, I just went over to the dollar store, picked that thing up, and they've got them clearance at 50% off, and it was only $1 to start. So you get a whole bag of these things. Saying there's 10 ounces in there of candy for 50 cents. Okay, so I threw a handful of those in. Here's the combs. I mean, I put them in a Ziploc bag now because I only put one in there, but you can see there's a whole bunch of different combs, sizes, whatever, for $1. Okay, so I got my mints in there. You throw your granola, your hat and socks in there, your spoon, comb, Band-Aids, crackers, you just keep wipes on it. Just kind of going over it with you. I know you already went over once, but anyway, toothbrush, toe warmers. You probably don't need it in the middle of summer in Phoenix, but there you go. And then you just put some food in there that's not going to get hurt in the winter or in the summer. Zip the thing up. And you can do this with a 5-gallon round bucket. It doesn't necessarily have to be one of these rectangles. I just find these to be a little bit better if you can get them, and they're cheaper over at Walmart. At the bakery again. Get some of the air out. Put your water in there. You got your bag of goodies. Keep it in there. There's your chair. Okay, so I think one of the best parts of this is, say you run into somebody, I don't know, homeless person, right? They're always asking for money, and they need it. They're out there, they don't have a house, they're cold, wet. Well, if you've got one of these in your bucket, and you see a homeless person that's getting soaking wet, it could be life or death for them, and that was what, $1 or $2? Maybe they're sitting on cement and they need something. This Reflectix will keep their bum warm. And it gives them some cushion, right, away from the concrete, whatever. So you've got these two things that you could give away in a pinch, and you know, it's a couple of dollars, and it probably mean the world to somebody that didn't have anything. It's a hot day. You got some water, you know, you could give them. You got this bag full of goodies, right? A toothbrush, some mints, some toe warmers, a hat, you know, the beanie to keep them warm, the wipes. I mean, I don't know. I've never been homeless. Don't want to try it out either. But I'll tell you, if you were at that point and you didn't have anything, it'd sure be nice to be able to clean up. You know, if that's just a comb or a pair of fingernail clippers or anything to, you know, feel better about yourself or anything like that. I just think it's great to have on hand. Am I saying give the whole bucket away? Yeah, I guess if you could afford it and it didn't mean much to you and you're into it, $10, you've got all this that you could give to somebody in need. Matter of fact, if you knew you had this in your car sitting out there and you seen somebody, this kind of stuff it will freeze in your car. It probably isn't great if you left it out in the sunshine, so I'm not advocating putting that out there in it. But if you're by a store and you want to help somebody and you're afraid to give them money, afraid that it's just going to feed their addictions instead of, you know, their to keep them healthy, then try this. You know, get some fresh fruit. You know, I got an apple and an orange here. Vienna sausages. Just make sure that when you buy these cans, I mean, these are Walmart brand, great value pork and beans, okay? There's a plastic spoon in there. There's paper towels in there. There's a Ziploc bag so you can put the spoon back in there when they're done or whatever. You could give them a can of pork and beans. Make sure they've got that pull lid because they probably don't have any way to open them cans other than pull them open. They probably don't have a can opener with them. The Chunky, Campbell's Chunky Soups is a great meal. And that's great if it's hot or cold. If it's just coming off the store shelf and somebody's hungry and they're homeless, this is going to be a lifesaver. They've got a spoon, they got some paper towels they can clean up after, whatever, even if that's all it is. Go to the store, buy a box of spoons, buy a box of Ziploc baggies and a roll of paper towels, and put together these little kits. They don't have to be exactly like this. You can critique it for wherever you live, but make sure you get the pull lids. Make sure you get something that's, I mean, I think, you know, peanut butter and things like that are a great idea, but how many people have peanut allergies or, you know, so just be careful on what you're purchasing. Maybe you're giving away stuff that they can't really do anything with. And I'm sure that, you know, they'd be glad to get anything. I would. And, you know, just carry some of this stuff around in your car. And then the day comes that you're like driving down the road and you get stuck in a snowdrift and you can't leave the car and it's in the middle of the night. You've got some stuff in there to save your own butt, and you've got some stuff in there always to save somebody else's. So keep that in mind. Please help the homeless. They need it. And if you can, I mean, if you can afford it and you want to throw them a couple bucks, that's great too. Always be aware of your surroundings. Remember where you came from. Remember how to get back there. Till next time, we'll talk to you then.